Okay, let's remember the binding of this 70 generations, which is going to be tied up to the Mayan great year. Now remember, we saw the same symbology between the two. And then what we did with the Ouroboros, and then showing you that riddle with Samson, that we're both between the Mayan calendar and then the Hebrew time arriving at the same point in time at the Ouroboros, which is December 21st, 2012. So by that understanding, we can know that we're talking about the same world age, which is focused at the same pinpoint time and space, of which this Ouroboros is, because it fulfills our understanding of chapter 9, dealing with those angels out of the Euphrates, with that year, that month, that day, and that hour. And that's exactly the timing that we have here with this special conjunction. Now, since we do that, we can understand that they're very similar in so many ways, even on down to the Baktun being 12 times 12,000 equals 144,000. Now look, there's a lot more to that I'm not sharing with you right now, but just know that you can see the absolute connections there. What I want to do now is show you how we arrive at the 72, and why is the 72 the logical number? Well, it says bind them for 70 generations. Well, if you remember what I told you, it says here that the sun crosses the equator at a slightly different point every year. With the passing years, this point shifts from 1 degree approximately every 72 years. So every 72 years is 1 degree, or in other words, 1 generation. Now that makes so much sense, because what we're doing is we're timing up a cycle of time with an existing cyclist time that already exists, and that's the precessional cycle. So we know that the precessional cycle is, if we go 72 times 360 degrees, we end up with 25,920. That is going to be what we're going to weigh everything against, and this is considered the great year, of which is the mathematically correct great year, because I told you everybody's having to round their numbers because they're not coming to this point. They're just a little shy, so that's why everybody's going to 26,000. There's a reason why they're shy, but in other words, 360 degree circle, 70 degrees, 72 years it takes to make 1 degree, which will complete our arc. Now what I want you to understand is this, that if we do the Hebrew times the 72 now, with our knowledge of its mathematical correctness of precession, we're going to come up with 72 times 70 generations, 5,040 years. If we do the same thing with the Mayan great year, we come to 5,125. Both of us represent a world age symbolically. All the symbols are in place. Now, if we go times 5 of those, we come up to 25,200. If we go times 5 of those, we come to 25,625. Not too far off at this point. This is our precessional age. So our comparison for our mathematically correct precessional cycle, which is being brought to 25,920 years, is pretty close to both. Now, let us go down this way. That's the 5 times the 5,040, 25,200. Here's the math, gives us this equation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the mathematically correct equation, bring it down here. I'm going to divide it and try to derive a mathematically correct split on equal 5 world ages, because I can see that these numbers both are lacking. When I do that, I come to 5,184. This is the mathematically correct new world age, and there's a reason why. We're missing some numbers that nobody knows about. If we go times 7-fold, which we saw in Genesis, we come to 36,288. That is our arrival at Eden.